Oh, God, and so now it's time for this speech impediment hour with Carlos and this white woman passing for Duffey. We gonna find out why she got fired. I mean, we know, because she's boring. She brought nothing to the show for season after season after season. The only thing I miss about Duffey is not getting to see Tammy Roman whoop that butt. Child, Duffey ain't ever even listened to his show because she's like, who the hell are the raindrops? Duffey doesn't know what to call her fan base. Um, the nuns. That's what you would call your fan base, the nuns. I mean, honey, you got kicked off Basketball Wives. How many fans do you got? Maybe you could call them the twos and threes. So we get right into it, and Carlos is already doing an impersonation of me. Duffey tells him she wasn't ass back and child, he just get up and run from the mic like he me. I'm the only one that does that. I'm the only one that gets up and runs around the room. Why do you want to be me so bad? Why can't you be you? And if you're going to be me, you got to learn how to talk. So Duffey's theory is that since her, Brandy Maxine, Brown Gel Queen, and British the felon weren't asked back, but British couldn't come back because she's going to prison. Prison. She said because they were commuters, so they had to pay for them to live in LA. They cut them because of the budget. Now it's on BET. So they went and got some cheaper girls. Her and Brandy Maxine aren't on speaking terms, but why would you be? You're not on the show anymore. So now Carlos begins the fake compliment section of the show, and he calls Duffey a basketball wife. She's the wife of an agent. Even she was like, basketball adjacent. I mean, she is more married than the other heifers. Her man seems like he wants to be with her. I mean, you got Doug out here coaching. British man don't want her, and he's gonna have to take them kids. Brandy's marriage is holding on by a thread. Malaysia got played and left, and nobody wants Jennifer Williams. Oh, God, and she ain't even a wife. She's still engaged. Well, I guess now you know the show ain't gonna pay for that wedding, so you may as well go on to the Justice of the Peace. Oh, she getting married in Lake Como, Italy, and she gonna live stream it. Yeah, girl, go and put your Cash App up. Oh, God, he gonna say she's the opposite of boring? Well, then who's interesting? Oh, God, she's not made for TV because she's too nice. You're just not interesting, honey. You never brought it. We didn't care about you with French Montana, your little relationship. It's functional, so it's boring. But your personality is like plain yogurt. Even with, a little honey, it's still bland. So she thought things was going to get better with Brandy, but they didn't. And it's because you're not on the show. I mean, I think she blames you for getting fired because you're boring. And Brandy's always had to lean on someone else. And since she didn't have Malaysia, she needed you, but you couldn't come through. So they called her and let her know that she was getting fired, and she called Neki Christie right after that. Why? Why would you ever reach out to Neki, especially if you never have to see her again? That'd be the first number I'd delete. Duffey said, well, I want to see more of what's going on with their relationships. They don't have relationships. Jen deals with gigolos and rent-a-men. Doug Christie, well, that's an old sissy. But don't no man want to look at the rest of them heifers. Brandy Maxine, Brown Gel Queen's real issue with Duffey is that she said she was closer to British than to her. Duffey wanted to work their shit out behind the scenes, but not Brandy, because she ain't have nothing to do in front of the camera. So Duffey is open to a reconciliation with Brandy, but she needs an apology. I'm sure Carlos is going to try to stir that turd. So Duffey wanted to cry when she found out that Brandy's son was sick at the reunion, but because she didn't have anybody for hair and makeup, she couldn't cry. But she wanted to. She wanted to. Oh, God. Carlos says he's concerned about reality because nobody wants to show their full lives anymore. Well, you don't pay enough. So that's why people don't want to show their real lives. But then she gonna say, well, what about Love and Marriage Dallas? Me and Iman, it could start with our wedding. Duffey, we just got rid of you. Listen to VH1. People are tired of you. Oh, and she want to get Brandy and Jason on there too? I don't want to look at them either. So Duffey said, I don't really know why me and Brandy fighting anyway. It ain't that deep. And she can't question my loyalty because I'm the most loyal friend. But you also said you didn't owe her any loyalty. So I think you just like that word in your mouth. But then Carlos asked were the girls loyal to Malaysia. And I would say yes, because they didn't tell that business. That broke business. Duffey, however, was surprised that her and Malaysia didn't get along, but everybody apparently told Malaysia why they didn't like her, but they didn't show that on the show. Brandy thought that it was going to be Duffey, Malaysia, and her as the three amigos. Carlos said, well, Duffey, you should have befriended Malaysia regardless, so that way you could have had more of a storyline. But you know, Duffey's not just uninteresting, she's a follower. I mean, if you called all three of them a musical group, what would it be? No substance? So Carlos wants to know from Duffey, is it because Malaysia's brokenness was blasted? Is that why she left? Or were there other reasons? Atlantan secrets. Girl, but Carlos gets to asking her about British's theft, and she's like, is she guilty? Carlos said, yes, she pled guilty. Well, I know she likes rappers. We just talk about the love life. I'm not getting subpoenaed. Duffey's all like, oh yeah, British is moving to Miami and starting a podcast. Carlos is like, from a prison in Miami? I don't know how. I could understand British saying that because Delulu. Child, Duffey like, I don't know, British seems like she having a good time, dating, moving to Miami. I don't know nothing about no felonies. So Carlos asked everybody to message British to let her know he wants her on the show. Everybody messaged him to let him know, I think he should come on mine. But now Carlos wants Duffey to rehash when in Portugal, Tammy almost tapped that ass. So it was Duffey's dream to work with the great Heifer Roman. So Tammy told Duffey behind the scenes, I'm going to fire you tomorrow. And Duffey said, okay, bet. I'm a D1 athlete. I'm going to give what I'm going to give. Brandy, however, was concerned for Duffey and was outside in the car because she knew you might get that ass whooped. So they had their first little skirmish, but because it was in front of the daughter, Bose didn't throw. However, in Portugal, Tammy walked off from the table and Duffey just had to say, yeah, that's why you're walking. And that's when she realized, I'm in trouble. Oh, Duffey said she made contact with Tammy Roman. They didn't show it, but it's on YouTube. I'm going to look it up right now. I want to see those bops connect. Oh, Duffey does. Duffey does get some overhead bops in. It's on the channel Dopest Reality TV Fights. So after those bops connected, she got kicked off the trip. Should have gotten kicked off the show. Cha Iman had flown to Portugal because Duffey knew she was going to have to fight Wretched Roman. She's still a fan of Tammy, however, and gives props where props are due. Duffey is working on her first record with French Montana, but does anybody listen to French Montana anymore? All right, well, that was the shit, so I'm going to see you soon for something. What comes on Monday nights? Because I forgot Love and Hip Hop went to Tuesday. I'm going to get to Crappy Lake, though. That don't come on for a minute out here.